I'd spent 3 months planning the perfect surprise for my dad's 60th birthday. I booked a beachfront villa, arranged airport pickups, organized a private chef for the weekend, even set up a boat tour. Everything. The total cost? $5,212. Every cent came from my savings. And not because anyone asked me to, but because I love my dad. He's the only one in my family who's ever really had my back. I didn't even tell him. I wanted it to be a complete surprise. But I told Mom. Big mistake. I told her one night after work, when I came by to help her with something stupid, like fixing her email or unclogging the sink. She sat at the kitchen table with a glass of wine, barely listening. When I mentioned the trip, she blinked, then frowned. "You're taking your father on a trip?" she asked, like I'd said I was buying him a spaceship. "No," I said, smiling. "I'm taking all of us. A family trip. For his birthday. It's all booked." She stared at me, swirled her wine, and said, "Huh, that was it? No, wow. No, that's so generous. Not even a thank you. Just huh." Like I told her it might rain. I should have known then. A few days later, I started getting weird vibes from my brother, Jonah. He's 2 years older than me, and lately, he's become one of those passive-aggressive family men who thinks every decision needs to go through a group text with his wife, my mom, and our cousin Brenda for some reason. I noticed he stopped replying when I posted updates about the trip. Then my sister Megan, who barely returns my calls, suddenly posted a vague Instagram story about some people needing to stop trying to control everything. It had a screenshot of a beach. My beach. Still, I let it go. I assumed they were just surprised. Maybe they felt weird that I, the youngest, was the one paying. Or maybe they thought I was overstepping. Whatever. I didn't do it for them. But the real blow came on Saturday afternoon. I dropped by Mom's house again to give her the updated itinerary. She was on the porch, clipping dead leaves off her ridiculous potted hydrangeas. Megan and Jonah were there too, lounging like they'd been waiting for me. As I walked up, Mom said, without looking at me, "Don't bother, Ashley. We all agreed. You're not welcome at your father's birthday party." I laughed, because I thought it was a joke. She looked up, not laughing. "Wait, what?" I asked. "We're doing our own thing," Jonah chimed in. "Dad knows. It's already planned." I blinked. I planned it. "What are you talking about?" "We just don't think you should be there," Megan added, crossing her arms. "It's not about the trip. It's about the energy you bring." "The energy I bring?" I was shaking. Mom shrugged. "You've always been too much. Always making things about you. It's his birthday, not yours." My voice cracked. I was trying to do something nice. I spent $5,000 of my own money. "No one asked you to," Jonah cut in. "This is exactly what we mean." Mom smiled then. A slow, smug smile like she'd just won a game I didn't even know we were playing. "You're not invited, Ashley." "That's final," she said. "You can keep your receipts." I didn't cry. I didn't scream. I just nodded. "Good to know," I said. Then I turned around, walked down the steps, got in my car, and drove home with my hands gripping the wheel so tight my knuckles hurt. That night, I sat at my computer and opened my online banking. The vacation fund was still sitting there. I transferred the entire amount back into my personal account. Then I logged into the travel site and canceled everything. The villa, the chef, the boat, all of it. One click at a time. Non-refundable? I didn't care. Some of it actually was refundable. Bonus. Then I sent exactly one group message to our family thread. "Since I'm not welcome at Dad's birthday, I've canceled the trip I planned and paid for. Feel free to make other arrangements." I muted the chat and went to bed. By morning, I had 23 missed calls. 10 from Jonah, 6 from Megan, 4 from Mom, and 1 from Dad. There were texts too, but I ignored them. What made me freeze, though, was the last thing that came through. It was a voice message from Jonah. I pressed play, expecting more yelling or guilt-tripping. Instead, I heard him whisper, "Ashley, listen, something's going on." I didn't agree to any of that. Neither did Dad. "Mom told us you backed out because you didn't want to pay anymore. Megan only found out the truth after she saw your message. Call me, please. There's more you don't know." I sat there, the phone buzzing in my palm. Something in my chest twisted. It wasn't just the betrayal. It was the realization that this went way deeper than a canceled trip. My mom had lied to everyone. And suddenly, I wasn't sure what was real anymore. I didn't call Jonah back right away. Not because I didn't believe him, but because I wasn't ready to hear whatever came next. I spent most of that Sunday in a fog, rereading his message, staring at my phone, then walking away from it like it might explode. I wasn't sure what scared me more, the fact that my mom had lied so easily, or the idea that this might not be the first time. Around 6 p.m., I cracked and texted Jonah. "I'm listening. Talk." He called immediately. His voice was rushed, anxious. "Ash, first of all, I'm sorry. I should have called you yesterday. I didn't know Mom told you that. She told us you canceled everything because you were being dramatic, that you were mad at Dad for something." "What?" I nearly dropped my phone. "She told Megan you were trying to manipulate everyone. Said you booked the trip just to make a scene or hold it over us." I was silent. "Ash, when you sent that group message, I showed it to Dad. He had no clue. He thought you were still planning something. He was actually looking forward to it." My heart ached. I imagined him sitting there, thinking I was just flaking out or punishing him somehow, when all I ever wanted was to give him something he'd remember. "I confronted Mom," Jonah continued. "She freaked. Started crying, saying you were turning the family against her. Accused me of betrayal." "That tracks," I said flatly. Then Jonah hesitated. "There's more. Something you need to know. Something I only found out because Megan finally opened her mouth." Now I was listening. He exhaled. "Apparently, Mom found out Dad's been thinking about updating his will. He talked to Megan's husband about it last month, just casual stuff, no final decisions. But she panicked. She thinks he's going to leave more to you." "What? Why?" "I don't know. Maybe because you're the only one who visits him without needing something. Maybe because you took care of him when he had surgery last year. Maybe because you're not fake." I went quiet. "So you think this was, what? Some manipulation tactic?" "She was trying to make you look selfish," Jonas said. "She wanted to create distance between you and Dad. She didn't want you to look like the good daughter. She figured if she could make you seem unreliable, controlling, he'd second-guess everything." I couldn't breathe for a moment. "She played us, Ash. All of us." I finally spoke. "And you believed her? All this time?" "I'm not proud of it," he said quietly. "But, yeah, she's always been good at twisting things. Especially when it comes to you." The line went quiet for a few seconds. "I think she's afraid of losing control," Jonah added. "Over him. Over the family." I wanted to scream, cry, throw something. But instead, I just stared at the wall. "Is Dad okay?" I asked. "He's confused. Hurt. He doesn't want to cause a scene, so he's trying to keep the peace. But he misses you. I think you should talk to him." After we hung up, I sat there for over an hour before finally calling Dad. He picked up on the second ring. "Ash." My throat tightened. "Hey, Dad." Silence. Then he said, "Sweetheart, I didn't know. I swear to God, I didn't know." That was all it took. I broke. Right there on the phone, sobbing into my sleeve while he just listened. We talked for a long time. I told him everything, what Mom said, how she smiled when she shut me out, how she made me feel like I was the villain. "I never agreed to that," he said. "And I never will." He told me he loved me, that he was proud of me, that he'd suspected Mom was stirring things up but didn't want to accuse her without proof. "I'm sorry I didn't step in sooner," he said. "But if you're willing, I'd like to see you. Alone." I agreed. We met the next day at his favorite diner, the one near the lake with the old jukebox and terrible coffee. He looked tired, older, but his eyes lit up when he saw me. Over eggs and toast, he said something I'll never forget. "I'm updating the will this week. Not because of what Mom thinks. Not because of money. But because I want my kids to know the truth. I want them to know who showed up when it mattered." I nodded, barely holding it together. He slid a small envelope across the table. I opened it. Inside was a printed receipt. My original trip itinerary, rebooked. Same villa. Same weekend. Only this time, it had 2 guests listed. "Ashley," he said, "I don't care what anyone else is doing. I want to go with you." That night, I got another message from Jonah. "Things are exploding here. Mom's furious you saw Dad. Megan's taking her side again. But I'm done. I'm not defending her anymore. I think I'm going to tell Dad everything she said about the will. He deserves to know." Then a follow-up text. "Also, there's something else. Something I found in the attic. It's about Mom. I don't even know what it means yet, but I think you need to see it." The attic. I hadn't been up there in years. When we were kids, it was like our secret clubhouse, filled with old books, dusty photo albums, holiday decorations, and boxes no one ever touched. But after Dad's back surgery, the attic basically became a dead zone. Nobody went up there. Nobody had a reason to. Until now. Jonah didn't say much in his text. Just that he found something while helping Mom look for old birthday decorations. He said it was hidden behind a stack of boxes in the far corner, taped shut inside a shoe box wrapped in a grocery bag, which already sounded shady. So we agreed to meet in secret. Not at Mom's. Not even at Jonah's house. We met in his truck, parked behind the hardware store where we used to buy firewood for camping trips. He brought the box with him. I could tell by the way he clutched it that he hadn't even shown it to Megan. When I climbed in, he handed it to me silently. It wasn't heavy, just dusty. I opened it. Inside, papers, letters, a few photos, a worn notebook. I started flipping through it, and every page that passed made my stomach tighten. The first thing I noticed was a name I didn't recognize, Elaine Rowe, written over and over again. Then dates. From 1989, 1990, before I was even born. I turned to Jonah. Who is this? I don't know. But keep going. Halfway through the notebook was a folded letter, dated August 1990. It was addressed to our dad. I started reading, my hands trembling. I understand your decision, but you should know. If you walk away now, you're walking away from more than just me. I won't force you, but I won't lie to your wife either. You have a right to know your daughter. My vision blurred. Jonah whispered, she said your daughter. We kept reading, page after page. The letters were from Elaine. They were emotional, frustrated, desperate. And they kept mentioning someone named Lily. Jonah leaned in. I think Dad had a child with this woman. Before Mom. Or during. I couldn't speak. I reached for the photos. There were 3 of them. A baby girl. A toddler. Then a girl maybe 4 or 5, holding what looked like a birthday balloon. On the back of the last photo, someone had written, Lily, age 5, last time we saw her. Jonah whispered, why would Mom keep this? I stared at the photos. My mind raced. Does Dad know? I asked. Jonah shook his head. No clue. But I don't think so. The way this was buried, it feels like Mom wanted it hidden. For good. That night, I didn't sleep. I kept thinking about the girl in the photo. Lily, my half-sister? And if she really existed, where was she now? The next morning, I went to see Dad again. I didn't bring the box. I needed to ease into it. We sat on the porch, drinking coffee. I told him I forgave him for not stepping in sooner, that I understood how Mom could be persuasive. He looked away. Ash, he said quietly, there are things you don't know. Things I've let slide for too long. Like what? He hesitated. Your mother hasn't been the person you think she is for a long time. I didn't say anything. I just waited. He sighed. There was someone. A long time ago. Before Megan. Before Jonah. Her name was Elaine. I nearly dropped my cup. I loved her, he said. But it was complicated. I was engaged to your mom. And Elaine didn't fit the plan. My parents pressured me. Her family didn't approve. We drifted. What happened? I whispered. She told me she was pregnant. I didn't believe her. I thought she was trying to trap me. Your mom said the same thing. Said it was just drama. So I walked away. Did you ever find out if it was true? He shook his head, eyes full of regret. I tried to forget. Your mother, she didn't want that chapter reopened. So I buried it. I swallowed hard. Her name was Lily. He looked at me, stunned. What? Lily? That was the child's name. His face crumpled. I found the letters, I said. The photos. Jonah and I found them in the attic. He didn't speak for a long time. Then finally, she was real. I nodded. I think so. We sat there, both stunned. The sun was setting, casting long shadows across the porch. Then Dad said something that shook me. She would be what? 33 now? 34. Yeah. Do you think she ever looked for me? I don't know. But the more I thought about it, the more I started to wonder. That same evening, I got a message from an unknown number. No text. Just a photo. It was the same photo I'd seen in the attic, Lily at age 5, holding a balloon. But this one had been scanned, edited, brightened, and typed below it in plain black font. Did he ever tell you about me? I stared at the screen. The number had a Chicago area code. I typed back. Who is this? No reply. I showed it to Jonah. He just stared. It's her, isn't it? Or someone who wants us to think it is, I said. Then, just before midnight, I got another text. I don't want anything from him. I just want the truth. He had a choice. He made it. Ask your mom why she paid my mother to disappear. I didn't sleep that night. Not even a minute. I kept replaying the message in my head, trying to make sense of the words. Ask your mom why she paid my mother to disappear. I didn't want it to be true. I didn't want to believe that my mother, was capable of something so cruel. But the way she looked at me that day on the porch, that smug little smirk when she told me I wasn't welcome, something in my gut told me she was absolutely capable. The next morning, I didn't bother texting or calling. I went straight to her house. She was in the kitchen, humming like nothing in the world was wrong. The moment she saw me, her face dropped. "I'm not in the mood for another tantrum, Ashley," she said flatly. I put the phone on the table, opened the photo of Lily, the scanned one with the message. Her face went white. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't need to. "What did you do?" I asked. She swallowed, but her hands didn't shake. "Of course they didn't. You don't know what you're talking about," she said. I picked up my phone, scrolled, then showed her the next message. "I was 5. My mom was crying in the kitchen when your mother handed her an envelope and said, 'Make the right decision and disappear.'" Mom flinched. "I want the truth," I said. She looked at me for a long time. Then finally, she sat down. "It was never supposed to come back," she muttered. "She promised." "Who promised?" "Elaine." And just like that, the walls came down. "She came to the house once," my mother said. "Right before the wedding. Said she was pregnant. Said she wanted him to know. But he was already doubting everything. He was weak. Emotional. I couldn't let her pull him back in." "So you paid her?" I asked, my voice cracking. "I gave her money to move away," she said. "Enough to get her out of state. Start over." She agreed. I made her promise she'd never contact him again. It was cleaner that way. For everyone. "For you?" I snapped. "No," she hissed. "For us. You think you'd even be here if he had chosen her? You think Jonah or Megan would have had a family? He would have married her out of guilt, raised that child, and ended up miserable. And instead," I said quietly, "you lied for 30 years. Her lips tightened. "Sometimes the truth isn't worth what it destroys." I left without saying another word. When I got home, I texted Jonah. Told him everything. Then I texted the unknown number. "We need to meet." They replied almost immediately. "Tomorrow. Noon. Corner of Belmont and Sheridan. Coffee shop on the left." I barely made it through the night. When I walked into the cafe the next day, I knew it was her before she even turned around. Same eyes as Dad. Same nose. She looked nervous, but strong, like someone who'd had to raise herself without ever knowing why. "Lily?" I asked. She nodded. We sat down, and for a moment, neither of us said anything. Then she broke the silence. "I never wanted to hurt him. I needed to know." "I'm glad you reached out," I said. She looked down at her coffee. "My mom died 2 years ago," she said. "Cancer. Before she passed, she told me everything. Showed me the letter your mom gave her. Said she regretted it every day." I swallowed hard. "She said your mom threatened her," Lily added. "Said if she didn't walk away, she'd make sure nobody believed her. That she'd be painted as a gold digger trying to ruin a happy couple." That sounded exactly like my mother. "What do you want to do?" I asked. She looked at me, then reached into her bag. Pulled out a small manila envelope. "This is for him. Letters. Photos. A DNA test, if he needs it. I'm not here to destroy his life. I just want him to know I exist. Then, I'll disappear, if that's what he wants." I took the envelope. "I'll give it to him," I said. That night, I drove to Dad's house. We sat on the porch again. I handed him the envelope. He opened it slowly. His hands trembled. He read every letter, every photo, stared at the DNA results for a long time before setting them aside. "She's mine," he said. "I think so." Then he did something I'll never forget. He stood up, looked me in the eyes. "Thank you for bringing her back to me." Then he walked into the house and made a phone call. I sat on the porch, listening to his voice, low and trembling, as he spoke to the daughter he'd never known. He cried, laughed, apologized 100 times. And in that moment, everything changed. A week later, he met her in person. A month later, he updated the will. He didn't do it to punish my mother. He didn't cut anyone out. But he made sure Lily had a place, her place, at the table. Mom didn't speak to me for 2 months. But I didn't care. For the first time in my life, the truth was bigger than her power. The family trip never happened. But something better did. I got a sister. And my dad got a second chance at being a father to someone who'd been missing for 3 decades. Some families crack and fall apart under pressure. Ours broke wide open. And something real finally grew in the wreckage.